As we look back at the amazing year of 1923, we realize a great deal happened in Denver and in our great state of Colorado. In June, Denver hosted President Warren G. Harding, who spoke up prohibition just 1 month before his tragic death from a heart attack on the West Coast. On the economic front, after years of fighting with Pueblo and other rural communities, the State House and voters finally approved funding to begin construction of the Moffat Tunnel under the Continental Divide, opening up new opportunities for the state's economy. Denver is now hosting world class cultural events and political leaders. We have growing economic prospects. Miss Emily Griffith, are we finally done with the old Cowtown image? Are we a big city now?
Oh, I would say we certainly are a big city. What I have noticed in my school is the increasing number of people who need to be retrained in trades because the agricultural way of life is disappearing. Many women are discovering, for example, that housework is taking much less time with new machines making things easier, so they have more time to learn new skills. It's a fascinating situation. When we started the Opportunity School in 1916, we thought 200 people would come to classes. 10 times that many came. In fact, we are going to have to move to a new building soon because of the popularity of our classes. Many of our students are immigrants who have never had a chance to learn. I taught children when I was in Nebraska, and I discovered how many rural people have never had an education. That is what's changing, and that is what's going to make this a big city. More access to education for all.
We talk about all those new big machines. I'm having trouble getting my wife to approve all these great big machines with all these great big radio equipment here in my house. I hope she doesn't mind even more machines coming
We
in.
were the first to have an automotive repair stop.
That is very impressive. Representative Big Ed Johnson, when you look back at 1923, what's the most important event in your eyes?
Well, by far, it's the commencement of the construction of the Moffat Tunnel. It is America's greatest undertaking since the Panama Canal. In northwestern Colorado, we are rich in coal and in farms, yet the region's in an economic coma because of lack of transportation. And when the Moffat Tunnel is completed, the barriers will be drilled away, and the Queen City of the Plains, with all her markets, will be at Moffat County's door.
A prime time for Moffat County indeed. Miss Lucille Berkley Buchanan, what what do you think about the growth in Denver, in Colorado, this entire year of 1923?
Well, Doc Reynolds, all I can say is not all in Denver or in Colorado are reaping the rewards of this economic boom. I had to leave the state to find employment as a teacher, and I have a friend who is also has a teaching certificate, and she's working as a cafeteria worker. In fact, most colored people in Denver are working either in manual or menial service jobs. And so, as long as this scandalous state of affairs continues, I don't think it really matters whether you call Denver a cow town or an urban metropolis.
Indeed. John Schaefer, the Moffat Tunnel seems like something that would truly open up the economy for the entire state. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you what, the Moffat Tunnel could have been one of three tunnels if the legislature had been able to get Pueblo to work with us. But they didn't. I didn't have the pleasure of knowing David Moffat. He died 2 years before I got here to town. But the business community picked up the baton and they ran it and they ran it. And it wasn't until Pueblo was practically wiped out by the Arkansas Fountain Creek flood last year that they needed state help. And we finally got the Southern Colorado, the Steel Boys down there, right? And the industrial heart of this state, and I agree with that, to come on board with our train through the mountains. But there could have been three, Monarch, and I think they were talking about Levita Pass. You could have been three tunnels, three transcontinental lines going through the Rocky Mountains. Just think about that. But what I don't like about it is the fact that we have saddled every homeowner in Denver County and in all the counties, Jefferson and Grand, and going all the way up through Boulder and all the way to Moffat County, with 60 years of property taxes, families paying property taxes for corporate welfare for a railroad. And I think we'll rue the day when we start opening the public coffers to private corporations. That's one of the reasons the legislature didn't let us build it a couple of years back.